You know, when it comes to true remote area wilderness experiences in Australia, we've got several to choose from, but you simply can't make a list of them without putting at the top, in my opinion anyway, the Gulf of Carpentaria. If you're going to go up to the Gulf, you simply have to go and see Lorella Springs. We're talking 1 million acres of virtually untouched, unexplored paradise right on the coast. Lorella Springs is, in my mind, one of the single best wilderness experiences in Australia. When it comes to the best time to visit the Gulf, in fact anywhere in the top end, it is pretty cut and dry because of the two seasons they've got up there as far as we're concerned anyway, the wet and the dry. Getting into Lorella Springs is not realistically going to happen until the last of the rains have fallen. So forget the wet season, it's off limits, Lorella is closed, but during the dry, it's just a matter of trying to pick whether you want the adventure side of things, i.e. during the build-up at one end, the wet season at the other, or going during perfect weather conditions, June, July, August. But one of the things I love the most about Lorella Springs is the camping. You see, Rhett's put a lot of thought into camping zones in Lorella. I'm going to go through the zones with you because the first one you're going to see when you hit Lorella Springs is the homestead area. If you're keen to camp near the homestead, and you should be because that's where they've got the thermal hot springs, they've also got happy hour every single night at the bar. There are a heap of grassed, shady camping areas right next to the homestead. It's not for everyone though. Some people want stuff a little bit more remote. Now, you grab a mud map off Rhett and it's got a heap of camping zones out along the river that leaves the homestead. The further you go out, the more remote the camping zones get. They're still within touch with the home base though of the homestead. If you really want a wilderness experience though, Rhett's got a number of camping zones that'll take you almost the whole day to get to. Have a look at places like Rosie Bay or Rosie's Fishing Camp right out on the Gulf. Another one, it's actually a campsite that myself, Shauno and the boys from 4 Wheel Drive Action put in right out on the coast. It's not actually been there very long, it's only been around about a year or so on the Warrallywancha Creek. That is the most remote camping I reckon you can do anywhere in Australia. Have a think about that, the most remote campsite pretty much anywhere in Australia. So when it comes to camping on Lorella Springs, you are covered 100%. When you get there, settle yourself down, find your campsite, and I reckon start off slow. Have a look at the waterfalls and the rock holes first. There are so many to choose from. Rhett's got, again, a mud map that'll show all these little spots you can get into. There's a couple of walking tracks that'll take you up into gorges, into rock holes that only get swum in a couple of times a year. We're talking crystal clear water, absolutely perfect. From there, try and get yourself a boat if you're going to get up there. Get out onto the creeks and try your hand at fishing. During the summer months, you're going to get those big queenies that are out of the river mouths. Barra all year round, but of course they're better during the build-up and the end of the wet season. The fishing on Lorella Springs is mind-boggling. Jack! Go out to Fruit Bat Lagoon. Get in the little canoe that's always out there, especially on dusk, and paddle out into the middle. It really is an amazing experience. Lastly, try, if you can, if you're there at the right time of year, to get right out to the coast and camp right on the ocean front. Because I tell you what, being out there at the most remote location you can possibly get to in a 4-wheel drive in Australia, spending a couple of days, is one of those experiences I doubt you'll ever forget. 4-wheel drive preparation for a trip out to Lorella Springs. Well, this is where it gets pretty darn serious. Lorella Springs is literally in the middle of nowhere. Just getting to Lorella Springs, the homestead, is going to require a very well kitted out 4-wheel drive. Service your vehicle before you leave. Make sure you've got at least one spare tyre, of course, preferably 2, and tyre repair kits. Outside of that, recovery gear. Yes, if you're going to go and explore Lorella, especially if you're close to the wet season, either end, you're going to want to be self-sufficient when it comes to recovery. We're talking decent winch extension straps, shackles, the whole lot. Communications. There is no communications out there unless you've got long-range comms. HF radio or a sat phone. Rhett has a sat phone number. He's got his sat phone on all the time at the homestead. He will give you his sat phone number so that you can call him should anything go wrong. In fact, Rhett really likes you just to check in with him once a day, twice a day, if you are going out to the edges of the property. So long-range comms are an absolute must. Just got a text message on the sat phone. Yeah. I just want to reiterate that your real shopping zones of Katherine and Mount Isa, thousands of kilometres apart, are the only big centres anywhere near Lorella Springs. So that gives you an idea of how vitally important it is to get your supplies in check before you even get close to Lorella Springs. By now you can probably tell I'm pretty passionate about Lorella Springs. I've been up there a few times and I really want you to try and get up there yourself. It's something that every adventurous Aussie should do at least once in their lives. If you do, give Rhett a call, tell him you're coming, and make sure you say a big hi from me, will you?